Israel's conversations, couch conversations, couch conversations, conversations.
Peace and blessings, family. Welcome back to Couch Conversation. And today's couch conversation, we're going to be in 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And as always, book, pen, and paper so that you can take notes and, go back and look behind us.
That's right.
Just don't believe what somebody tell you off the jump. You go search the scripture.
That's
Be
right.
that faithful Berean.
That's right.
And just picking up from where you left off last week with Zahara, how, we're running this race and to obtain that prize. And so we're not going to stay too long in this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with chapter 10 and verse 1. But so Paul said, we know we're all running this race to obtain that prize. You ain't running just in vain or beating that out. No, you want to hit that opponent. You want to hit your target. But there are some things that we must do before we get to obtaining that prize.
That's right.
And so now we're going to go to 1 Corinthians 10, verse 1 and 2.
All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea.
All right, so Paul said, moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant. We shouldn't be ignorant of what happened to our forefathers. And of course, later on, you'll read down where Paul said these things are for an example to us, that we don't make the same mistakes. But he's telling him here that how all our fathers, but I thought he was talking to Corinthians.
Yeah.
But he said all our fathers. So these here are our people. These are Israelites here in Corinthians that he's addressing by our fathers and how they were under the cloud and all passed through the sea. And were all baptized. He said all baptized. So just like they were baptized, we all need to be baptized.
That's right.
Unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea. So let's go take a look at that in Exodus chapter 14.
All right. Exodus chapter 14, verses 21 through 26.
Okay. And here it is. This is with Moses. And of course, we know we're trying to get away from this old wicked Pharaoh and the Egyptians who have been having our people oppressed.
Yes.
This same oppression is going on today. Nothing changed.
It reads, And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided.
All right, so Moses did the hand stretching out, but it's the Lord that caused the sea to go back. So Moses just had to be obedient to what God said, and God did the work. So that shows you that we are powerless. But if we are obedient, the Lord will use us to show that power to the enemy. That's what I love about having the Most High on our side. Okay.
Verse 22. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left.
Right, getting their baptism right here. This is what Paul was telling you about in Corinthians chapter 10. Okay.
23. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen.
Okay, and so look, even though here you done got baptized, you done got that, you walk in the Lord, he's working in your life, right? But that don't mean the enemy ain't gonna pursue. They not gonna stop chasing you and hunting you down. Even while the miracles happen in your life, their enemy's still coming because they relentless. But I like the way the Lord set them up for the kill.
That's right.
So you come on, pursue.
That's right.
Bring it.
Verse 24. And it came to pass that in the morning watch, the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians.
Tell me y'all enemies ain't being troubled.
That's right.
They pursuing you. You follow the Most High. You doing what thus saith the Lord.
That's
but they
right.
still pursuing you. But the Lord looking down through them clouds.
Sure lives.
Oh, you think you finna mess with my daughter? I got something for
Right.
you.
25. And took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians.
Let me flee from this sister. She must been praying. My life is messed up. Then you hear, oh, supervisor done lost this. She got no home. She in trouble with this. Why?
That's right.
Because you messed with the wrong sister. So look here. He said, she said, let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighting. See the Lord fighting? He fighting for you. For them against the Egyptians. So he just said, well, hold on, let me save the Egyptians. Just like I'm going to save Israel. No, he saved Israel, but he destroyed the enemy.
We read that clear as day.
Didn't we just read it? So look out.
What's that? For if God be for us,
Yeah,
who can be
who?
against us?
That's right.
Your example.
I'd like, Lord, make their chariot wheels
Yeah.
fall off. They pursuing me in
That's
hot
right.
pursuit.
That was the first, you know how in the movies you see the car chases?
Oh, yeah. The wheels go.
Yeah.
Yes. Pursuing you. Take
Verse-
you out.
Verse 26. And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thine hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots and upon their horsemen.
All right, so Moses, stretch your hand out again, because I'm finna drown. Why he ain't baptized the Egyptians and saved them? Why? Because it was by the Lord and his people.
That's right.
And when the enemy come against the Lord's people, he intervenes.
That's right.
But you have to be obedient. You know, you got to be the one to stretch out your hand to the Most High, and he'll do the work. He
That's
gonna bring that deliverance to you, you know. And so just like the Lord in this instance delivered, you know, our forefathers and foremothers, you know, from slavery under the captivity of the Egyptians. But what, they still pursue you. Why? Because you're going to continue to work for me. You're going to continue to let me abuse you. I go as far as to try to bring you back and make you get these bricks and this mortar. And
Right.
what is, it's just like on these jobs here. You know, you working like a slave. You know, you be attacked for keeping the commandments. You know, you hated for the way you look, the way you carry yourself. But the Lord gonna deliver you just like he delivered our forefathers. And that's why Paul say, don't be ignorant
Don't be
of
ignorant,
that.
that's
You know,
right.
you here in Corinth, you among these heathens, but guess what? There's deliverance coming. Them chariot wheels gonna fall off and they gonna drown.
Ooh, hallelujah. But it's just like I heard Brother Reggie Jr. say in his last lesson he did. So these heathen don't want us to go nowhere.
No,
they
want
tell us,
go back to Africa. Yeah,
they lie through their teeth.
they don't. Yeah, the ones that tried to go back to Africa, boy, they went crazy.
Sure
they had
did.
this. It was an article years ago, I think in the 90s or so, when they were saying, you know, go back to Africa, and the black people said, okay, we going back to Africa. Man, all hell broke loose. We never made it to the boat to
They
go
really
back.
don't want us to go. We are the battery of this system.
Yes,
We builded up these nations.
you're right.
And they ain't finna let us go. The system will stop working.
That's right. Yep.
We need you.
Pharaoh said he needs some more of these his things built up.
Yeah.
You know, all them beautiful things they go over there in Egypt and look. They wonder who
Right.
built them Israelites.
Yeah. That's
We
right.
did.
That's right.
We built the White House, didn't
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
we? And they asked me, wonder who built that? We did. Our forefathers built all this.
Hebrew hands.
Hebrew hands. That's right. Gifted hands.
Hands and minds.
That's right. Nobody else could do it like us. Okay?
So back to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 3 through 5.
Okay?
And did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ.
All right. So it said, now our forefathers and foremothers, they all did eat the same spiritual meat, the law. And we're going to look at what this spiritual is. We'll go there next. But they all ate the same thing. Wasn't no, well, I'm Pentecostal, you Baptist, I'm apostolic, and you coming up with all the, no, it was the same law. And it says, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them. And that rock was Christ,
Oh, wow.
not the Father. You've never dealt with the Father. So that rock that followed them, that was Christ. You've always dealt with Christ, not the Father.
So that Yah and Jehovah, that was all
Christ.
Oh, wow.
Yes. But the problem with Israel today is we're not all drinking the same spiritual drink and eating of that same spiritual meat. You know, there's traditions of man. We got bylaws in the churches to counter God's law. That's what they're eating today. But these all drink of that same. And that's where we got to get back to and eat and drink of the same. And that's just simple it is here. Right? But let us go look at what that spiritual meat
Do
is.
5 2 more.
No, I do 5
Okay,
next. Okay.
Okay. Romans chapter 7, verse 14.
Okay. Right? The same spiritual meat.
Romans 7 and 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin.
All right. So now we know what that law, the law that this is the same spiritual meat that our ancestors ate of. It is what is spiritual, but we are the ones that are carnal, sold under sin. And so this shows us that the problem is not with the law. It has never been. The problem with us
That's
and
right.
our sin. So stop acting like there's something wrong with the law. No, there's something wrong with you.
Right.
There's something wrong with your mind, with your behavior. That's where the problem is.
Right.
And so get back to eating this same spiritual law, this same spiritual meat, this same spiritual drink.
Right. Quit calling it a curse. Bitter.
Because it's
nasty.
not. It's not.
Because that's an evil thing to call God's law cursed. And we can't do it. Stop it.
You could do it.
You can do it. You don't want to. It's a difference.
You don't want to do it.
It's a difference between I can and I won't.
That's right. That's right.
Do it.
But Zahara, when they go to work, they can.
They sure can.
Keep it 100. People tell you to clock in at 8. That 8 and them 2 zeros hit. You punch it right on time.
Right.
You take your lunches on time. Break, they tell you 15. You better be back at 15. Oh, I can't follow the law. Tell them that and see what happens.
That's a workplace law.
That's right. But you follow that to the law, to the T.
T,
But
sure
then
do.
when it comes to God's law, it's got to be some kind of leeway. It's something wrong
Right.
with it
No, it's something wrong with you.
because you are carnal, sold under sin. Nothing wrong with the law.
God's law is life.
Yes, it's perfect.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't no
Converting the soul.
imperfections. It's no fallibility in it.
Nothing.
It's something wrong with you.
That's right. But you better get you right and get back to keeping this law. Okay.
Psalms chapter 119 and verse 44.
Do I got that in
Is
mind?
that? Oh,
Let me
that's
see.
what was.
Hold on. Let me see something.
That's.
Oh,
I can't
okay. Well, we'll hit it because I don't have it on my paper. I must have wrote it without my glasses.
Psalms
119.
chapter 119.
Okay.
Make sure I'm there. And verse 44.
All right.
And it reads, so shall I keep thy law continually forever and ever.
So shall I keep thy law until Christ come.
Forever and ever. Then he wrote it twice. Forever.
Ever.
Oh, I ain't done yet. And ever. And ever.
That's right. So he added some extra to let you know that this law ain't going nowhere. You don't see it, it's a cutoff period. So when Christ come, he fulfilled all the law, so I ain't got to do nothing. No, continually, forever and ever. So this is telling you, you better keep this law.
Didn't it say Christ was the word of God? Mm-hmm. And we reading the word.
That's right. But common sense has to click in somewhere, Zahara.
So don't let these people out here lie to you and tell you the law done away with. We can't do it all the way. It's a curse. They lying to you.
They
in
lying
hot
to you.
water.
That's right. You in trouble.
And we know the Bible ain't contradicting itself, so somebody lying, and
That's
it ain't
right.
God.
That's right.
Because he said, let God be true.
It-
And every, he mean it too.
He do mean
Every man.
Every
Preacher,
man.
minister, some woman,
That's
whoever, it
right.
don't matter who it is.
Everybody.
Let them be counted alive.
That's
You
right.
seek them out, not God, because he true.
Yep. If they see a problem with the law, it's because they don't want to do it.
That's right.
That's the problem. They want to do what they want
Wanna
to
do.
do. But I want to see you go tell these same heathen that they law done away with.
Yeah.
You ain't got to keep it.
Yeah.
Tell them Christ came so I can speed 55
Right.
when in a 30-mile zone.
Right. You go rob a store or something.
Yeah.
Then when
See
they
how
come arrest you, you tell the law done away with, police officer.
Mm-hmm. That's
Mr.
right.
Officer, it's done away with. They gonna say, turn around.
That's right. You have a
Clicker,
right to
clicker.
remain silent.
Yeah.
That's right, Zahara.
Jude chapter 1 and verse 5. And that's because
so
our
let's
people...
read verse 5 with that one.
Okay, verse 5.
Okay.
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 So 1 Corinthians, let's go back to
Oh,
1
read.
Corinthians
Oh,
10
okay,
and verse
okay.
5, and then we'll do.
So 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 5. But with many of them God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness.
All right. So it says, but with many of them God. Now we just told you the only God you ever dealt with was Christ.
Christ.
So it's telling you that Christ was not well pleased with them. For they were overthrown in the wilderness. And a lot of they are still getting overthrown in this wilderness because Christ is not well pleased with them, because they don't want to drink of this law. They don't want to eat of this spiritual meat. So let's go to Jude chapter 1 and verse 5.
Jude 1 and 5. It reads, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not.
Uh-oh. So
Wow.
here it is. He says, I will therefore put you in remembrance. And sometimes you got to bring this stuff back to people remembrance. You need to be mindful of this. You got to go through this thing all the way to the end. When you hear things that just, oh man, just make your ears like they on fire. Because this walk, it deals with discipline.
It does.
You got to have courage, faith, patience, long suffering, all that. Where you get to the place where it says, and how the Lord having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, and he was just like us. He's brought us back into the knowledge of who we are. We under the blood of Christ. We keeping the laws. But you ever get to that point, afterward, you don't believe, you're going to be destroyed. So there's a point in this walk where you can just get to, I don't believe none of it. They find itchy ear doctrines that they like, that they love. I say like that they love. You know, ain't no Messiah, this, I'm a this. I mean, just coming up with all kind of crazy stuff. Anything to get away from this law. You will be destroyed.
So that means a homework assignment for you sisters, go study that wilderness. Go
That's
look
right.
at our fathers and mothers in that wilderness, because those were types.
That's
You had some people follow Dathan and Korah.
that's right.
You had the Miriams.
That's right.
Go study 'em.
That's right. You have to look at all that and make sure that you're not
You're
doing
not
that.
doing it. Yeah, them still lusting for Egypt. They missed the cucumbers
That's
and
right.
fish. And
Why? Because unbelief. When you just come out of a place that had you in bitter and hard bondage, you done seen the Red Sea open. You saw plagues drop. I mean, darkness, frogs, rivers in the blood. All this Christ did, and then you get to the place where you don't believe. Something got to be wrong with your mind.
and some of that done happened in your life.
Yes.
The Lord done showed you all kind of stuff. You know
Yes.
you shouldn't be here today.
That's right. And now you.
Washed you, cleaned you up,
That's right.
taking care of your enemies for you. And then you
You don't believe.
turn your bite. You
Yeah,
know what's
you
coming
wanna,
next.
You want to walk away from it now. No. And when you overthrown, you guess where you gonna be thrown at? Right in that
Right
lake.
fire. Back to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 6 through 15.
All right.
Now these things were our examples, to the intent we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted.
All right. And so this is what's gonna get you overthrown. Because when you're doing these things, these evil things that we're gonna read from 6 to 15, this is showing the Lord, I don't believe you mean what you say. I could do whatever I want to do. I don't believe your word. When you start going against God's word, that means you don't believe it. And so this is what is going to get you overthrown. And Paul is simply telling him, now these things are written for our examples.
That's right.
So there's no reason for you to go and do this stuff. There is an example for you to read on, hey, if I do this, this is going to get me in big trouble. I'm going to get overthrown. I don't want to go to the lake of fire.
That's right.
It says to the intent that we should not, not should, but should not lust after evil things as they have
Also
lusted. So we shouldn't be lusting after evil things like they have lusted. And today is what? Chase the bag, that evil thing that we call brag,
Yeah.
that swirlers like. All that stuff that they show you on TV.
That go against the law.
Goes
That's
against
what
the
that
law.
evil is.
Yes. You coveting.
Lying. Stealing.
Yes. That's right, Sahara.
Not honoring your parents.
All that come up under there, don't.
Breaking the Sabbath.
That's right. It's a long list. Don't do those evil things as they did. And so go back and read what they did. Okay, verse 7.
Verse 7. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play.
And this is a big one for you Israelites. He said, neither be ye idolaters, because you know they got those other gods that you could worship called Christmas, Cupid, Easter Bunny, 4th of July.
St. Patrick, Halloween,
Yes, all that. But what draws you in is the eating and the drinking because it's festive to you. And you know Israel love parties.
Ooh, boy,
Oh
we a
man,
party
crank
people.
that music up. It is on.
Don't nobody party like this, people.
Okay, nobody do it like Israel.
It sound like a war when they party.
You be like, what is going
Oh,
on?
man, it,
That's right. That's what
is it an invasion
that's
taking
what
place?
Joshua like, what's going on down there? Moses said, no, that ain't a war. That ain't no sign of war. That's something else. And they rose up to play. After they come out the club, get them a shouty, take them home, and they go home to play.
Yeah,
And they have sex.
that's right.
That's what all this partying and all this here, just the works of the flesh in play.
That's why they like stuff like Mardi Gras
Mm-hmm.
and all that.
Them jokers have them cars on 2 wheels trying to get to Louisiana
That's right.
to go to that foolishness. And now they done brought that what it is, they say they bring it back, that Black College Week or whatever that is. In Atlanta, what they call that thing?
I forgot.
Freaknik.
Yeah.
Freaknik. Yeah, they bringing that back.
Wow.
And now just multiply that times all the sissies and bulldaggers you got. Man, it's going to be off the chain.
You don't want to be nowhere near.
No. But they'll go up
In case
there.
a lightning strike or some hail from heaven.
That's right.
A building might come. You don't want to be nowhere.
Sure don't.
Admit the Lord can see anything. Fire.
Yes, sir.
But you go over there, you better get on out of there.
Better. Sure better. Okay, verse 8.
Verse 8. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000.
All right, he
Man.
said, neither let us commit fornication. And we know fornication is big amongst Israel. And some of them committed and fell in one day 23,000. And you know, you had those who rose up to play with those Moabite women and 20-something thousand, you know, serving those other gods, because you get to lay with them other women and stuff like that, them other men. But no, you gonna fall. Ain't no getting up from this fall.
Yeah.
Because he taking you out permanently. Resurrection time.
He ain't
Judgment.
talking about that fall, righteous falls.
Get up 7 times. No. No, that ain't none of this. This is a different kind of
That's
fall.
right.
But he has all this stuff written for our examples. That shows you how much he loves us. That you can go back and read this stuff and say, you know what, in my life, I'm not going to do
I'm
that.
make sure.
I don't want to be overthrown while I'm here in this wilderness. You know, I'm going to walk righteously, keep these commandments. I'm going to obey what the Most High tells me. Okay?
Verse 9. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents.
All right. And so he said, neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of the serpents. You know, they vowed to the Lord, if you just deliver them Canaanites into our hands, we'll destroy their cities. You know, and the Lord did. He did. He destroyed the cities for them. But as soon as they start journeying,
Boy,
they got discouraged. You know, they start speaking evil against God and Moses. And what the Lord sent them serpents on.
Sure did.
You see, and that shows you, like, when the enemy coming against you and you make all these vows, Lord, I'll sing for you, I'll do this for you, but then now you got to continue this journey. And then you get, ever since I've been in this walk, stuff been happening, ain't nothing going right for me. Well, he gonna send them fiery serpents on you, just like he did them. So even though, because there's going to be deliverance, the Lord is going to deliver you out of your the hands of your enemies. You know, he's going to provide for you, he's going to do all that, but you still going to be tested.
That's right.
So as soon as you knock this in, have this enemy knocked off, here come another situation.
Yeah.
But you better just make sure you keep your mouth closed. That's what we're going to deal with in verse 10. And keep following the Most High. Keep your eyes on the prize. Because all this stuff going on around you, it's going to happen.
Yep.
There's no way of getting out of it. Everybody's going to be tested and tried. Lord ain't taking no anything.
Sure ain't.
When Brother Reggie said you're in boot camp, you're in boot camp. Okay?
Verse
10.
Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer.
All right. And so after the Lord has provided for you and given you all that you need, and he just let you go through a little drought in your life. You know, you don't see no way out of no way. He says, what? Neither murmur. He don't like to murmur. Every time can't even get no. The Lord said, don't do that, because he'll destroy you for murmuring too. You seem like the mumble mouth rappers. That's what you sound like. I hate the music, and I'm sure he do too. He don't want to hear the we want some food. Lord ain't even got none. Refrigerator empty. Tired.
He don't care about me, man. He let me just anything just happen to me. Just
he'll go out and serving him all the yielding still. The Lord say, don't murmur. Keep your lips closed. Because he'll destroy you for that too. Okay?
Verse 11. Now all these things happen unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come.
All right. And so now all these things happen unto them for examples for us. And just kind of the blessing that you wasn't one of them that was used for an example. And written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world come. So all these things happen to them for our example, and it's written in this book for our warning, to warn us. You know, and we know it says upon whom the ends of the world are come. And so you better heed to what these examples are telling you and what's going to come upon you. Why? Because we at the end now. And so this mindset that you have of looking at TV and listening to radios and programs and podcasts that's going to take you off the straight and narrow path, you got to remember these examples.
I'm telling you.
That's why you got to have strong discernment when you're listening to people and reading different books and all that stuff. All this stuff is to get you off the straight and narrow. And hey, this is the end now, Paul. And you know this is it.
And one thing about the enemy, that enemy really turn up the frequency of evil.
Yes, he sure do.
I mean, start going harder in the paint.
Sure
So
do.
you really have to guard your mind.
That's right. Guard that mind.
And stick with the Lord, because there's so many distractions. It's so much evil you can get yourself involved in, and you got to be careful. You
That's
got
right.
to be looking. You got to be praying.
Yep.
Guard that mind.
That's
'cause
right.
I've never seen so many people falling left and right.
Yes.
All around.
It's alarming. Very alarming. It sure is hard.
Okay.
Right?
Verse 12.
Okay.
Wherefore, let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall.
All right. So don't get so big and bold to where you think you got it all. You invincible. You can't be touched. Take heed lest he fall. So that means you got to constantly lean and depend on God. Don't think you know more than him, or you don't have to follow what the Lord has written in this book, which is his law. Because you're going to fall.
You start getting comfortable.
Yes.
And usually when you get comfortable, you start getting lax.
That's right. You sure do. Yep.
The Sabbath day, you used to be excited. Now,
It's a drag to you.
you just kind of do whatever you want now.
Got to watch that stuff.
Because it's going to lead somewhere.
That's right. You used to be quiet and wouldn't say nothing. Now you're murmuring.
Yeah.
Better watch all that. Okay.
Verse 13. There have no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it.
All right. And it says, there have no temptation taking you such as not as is coming to man. So the temptations in your life is no different from what any other person is going through. Others have some of the same experiences.
Yeah.
We have, because he tells us there's nothing new under the sun.
Yep.
But God. That's what I like about it. But God is faithful. See, man ain't going to be faithful to you, but God says, I'm faithful. And when you go through, he says, who will not suffer or allow you to be tempted above that which you are able. And so whatever you are going through or whatever you're experiencing at this moment in your life, just know God say you're able to get through it
Right. I will never give you more.
than what you can bear. But it's just when you're going through that fire,
It feel like,
ooh, you be like, I ain't gonna make
Lord
it.
have mercy. But it shows you will be tested.
Yes, yes.
When you come in this, you gonna be tested.
Yes, but see, this is why it's written for our examples. That's why he told them, that's what Paul is leading them back to the wilderness, because the Lord said, I suffered you to hunger. Why?
And
I want to
thirst.
just see if you was going to serve me or
Yeah,
not.
I want to see.
Just to see what you made of.
Because, see, anybody can serve God when they got food,
Oh, man,
water,
yes.
air conditioning, good
Yes,
health, everything.
that's right.
But can you do it
That's right.
when the chips are down?
Yes, that's the true test there. But he says, but with temptation also. So just because you experience this time of trouble, he said he will also make a way of
To
escape.
escape.
Didn't he make a way of escape for our people when they was coming out of the
Sure
wilderness? He opened the Red Sea. He did all that stuff for our people. And so we got no choice but to trust him, because we know he can do it. But as some Hebrew boys said, even if he don't, we know that he is able.
That's right.
He's able to do it.
He said, but will with the temptation.
Yes.
So you gonna go through it.
That's right.
But we hate it.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, but guess what? But it's just a promise that, you know what, the Lord got you.
Yes.
It may seem like, oh man, this thing is weighing on me. But God got you.
He got you. Yeah.
He won't let it crush you. He won't let it destroy you.
Nope. You ain't been through none of what Job went through. But he withstood it then.
Sure did.
And he says that ye may be able to what? To bear it. So he got it where you will be able to what? Endure this thing.
Yeah.
You will. It just seemed like when you're going through it,
Yeah.
boy, I ain't gonna make it. This was a tough one. But as time goes on, the Lord done made a way of escape. You be like, whew,
Yeah.
boy, I tell you.
You look back at that thing like
They used
you
to
like,
sing a song, How I Got Over. Yes, sir, How I Got Over.
All right. Verse 14. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry.
All right, run from it. Don't
run
sit there
to
and
it.
participate in it. Flee idolatry, all these idol gods and false worship. It don't have nothing to do with it. Go the other way. Flee
Sneak
idolatry.
worshiping. Because the Lord see you.
Yes,
I do kind of miss getting them gifts from up under that tree.
yes. Because you notice the same way with them idolaters. Used to like to bend down and pick them presents up. They so prettily wrapped with the
Wish
little
I was
bowls.
getting the gift. And they all giving each other gifts and stuff. And I'm left out here.
Yeah.
You go to hungry.
But look at that same thing, and he's talking flee idolatry. But remember, with this idolatry, the thing is, that's what Paul is telling you in verse 7 of the same chapter, that it comes with eating, drinking, and then you rise up to play. But Paul telling you to flee from that, because you're not just going to see some little idol.
Yeah.
And you know it don't come like that. It come with fun,
Yes.
giving, eating, drinking, festivities, and then some little playing
Yep.
at the end. But Paul said you better run from that. Don't run to it, run from it.
Verse 15. I speak as to wise men. Judge ye what I say.
All right, so to the wise, those of who got some understanding and know how to apply this, what Paul is saying, he said you better consider what I'm saying. In other words, those of who you wise, and I know you got some sense. Listen to what I'm telling you. Okay.
Verse 16. The cup of blessing which we bless, is it not the communion of the blood of Christ? The bread which we break, is it not the communion of the body of Christ? For we being many are one bread and one body, for we are all partakers of that one bread.
All right, so the cup of blessing which we bless, is it not the communion of the blood of Christ? And the bread which we break, is it not the communion of the body of Christ? this is speaking of Passover. And so, yeah, the cup of blessing we bless, when we do it, is to Christ. And that word communion is like community. We have a common unity with Christ. And it says, for we are many, are one bread and one body. We all make up the body of Christ. For we are all partakers of that one bread. And then he tell us we all eat of that same spiritual bread and that spiritual drink.
Sure did.
All
That's
right.
what he said.
Let's go to Matthew 26.
Matthew chapter 26, verse 26 through 28.
Okay.
And it reads, And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it, and brake it, and gave it to the disciples, and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks, and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins.
All right. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it and brake it, and he gave it to the disciples, and said, Eat and drink, eat. This is my body. And so just like those disciples, we are disciples, which means followers of Christ or disciplined ones. Disciples. We eat. We're going to eat of this same. Ain't going to be nothing else different. And he took the cup. That same that's what Paul was talking about, that cup.
Yep, that cup.
And it says, drink ye what some of it are.
All of it.
So that would include the law too.
Drink it all.
All of it. Everything in the old.
Not half the book.
just
all of it.
Just the New Testament.
Right.
Drink all of it.
Right.
Because we know in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And if he's telling you, I'm this bread and drink, hey, he's the Word. You got to drink all of it.
All. Eat and
All
drink
of
it
it.
all.
That's right, from Genesis to Revelation.
Right.
For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. And so no more animal sacrifices. Christ shed his blood for our sins. Okay. All right, so let's go back to 1 Corinthians 10,
Okay.
and verse 18 and 19.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, 18, and 19. Behold Israel after the flesh. Are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar?
Yeah, Levitical priesthood.
What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything?
No, it says, so behold Israel after the flesh. You know, those who did the physical things as Israelites, like the Levitical priesthood, are not they which eat of sacrifices partakers of the altar? Yes. And let's go to Leviticus 10, and let's take a look at that right quick.
Okay. Leviticus chapter 10, verses 12 through 13.
Okay.
It reads, And Moses spake unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons that were left, Take the meat offerings that remaineth of the offerings of the Lord made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most holy. And you shall eat it in the holy place, because it is thy due, and thy sons' due, of the sacrifices of the Lord made by fire. For so I am commanded.
All right. And so this is what Paul is telling them. You know, Israel according to the flesh back then, are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar? Yes, we just read it here where the Lord spoke, and Moses spake unto Aaron and Eleazar and Ithamar, his sons that were left, And he told them to take the meat off and anything that remaineth of the offerings that made by fire, and eat it without leaven, without sin. Don't partake in the Lord's stuff, don't be sinning. For it is most holy, and you shall eat it in the holy place, because it is thy due. And remember, last week you were dealing with that when they felt like Paul shouldn't be getting no telling what he doing with that money. Like Paul was dancing on money like Leroy Jenkins or something. Money come to me now.
Oh, look at all this money. Just dancing. Just
Paul wasn't doing none of that. He was actually helping the poor work with his own hands. We read making tents. Because it is his due and thy sons due. So the Levitical priesthood, they worked for the Most High, and they ate of the things that were brought in, of the sacrifices of the Lord made by fire. For so I am commanded. So the laborers, they were laboring in the temple, so they were worthy of their hire. So they were able to partake of that. And then so Paul we're going to go back to 1 Corinthians 10 and 19. And it says, what say I then? So Paul said, what am I saying? He said, I'm simply telling you that the idol is not anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything. So these idols ain't nothing.
Right.
You know, we give to our God just like the Levitical priesthood did, and they give to their God, which is no God.
That's right.
But he just putting it in a way for them to understand. Okay? Verse 20 and 21.
Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 20 through 21. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. And I would not that you should have fellowship with devils.
So should we have fellowship with devils? That answer is no.
Nope.
So no matter how you hear them Christmas carols playing, that's right, they're getting ready to crunk up too. Because you know around by September, October, you start seeing all that stuff come out. Or no matter how many candy hearts they put on the shelf, no fellowship with them.
Carved pumpkins.
Yeah, that's coming up too. Halloween. Because we have our fellowship, and that's what he told us in verse 16. You know, we have fellowship, or what? Communion with Christ. So no, I don't want to come to your Christmas party.
Right.
Your Thanksgiving, Easter, 4th of July, none of that festivities, or your New Year's. No, I don't want to have any fellowship with these devils.
Oh, so it's devils behind it.
Devils. That's what
So
it says.
they dress up the holidays. They dress up the
'em up.
idolatry. They make it look pretty. You can eat, drink.
Yes.
But really, it's devil worship.
Yes. That's all it is.
But, girl, you don't understand. I just want my
children,
kids.
They love to throw them
Girl,
children.
please, it ain't about
Same
them
children
children.
you don't take care of no other time. Stop lying.
It is not about them children. Just
It's
say
so
you want to
right.
do it and leave them kids out of it.
Yes.
Them kids don't even know what they be doing.
Oh, right. So let's take a look at Psalms 94 and verse 20.
All right. Psalms chapter 94, verse 20.
Okay. Okay.
It reads, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which fameth mischief by Allah?
All right. It says, shall the throne of iniquity, sin, have fellowship with thee? No. Those iniquity, they're not going to have fellowship with God. So if you think you doing the same thing they're doing, that you're going to have fellowship with Christ, absolutely not. Which what frameth mischief by what? A law. Just like the king of Babylon did, Nebuchadnezzar. When you hear the cornet, the flute, that was a law. They framed that mischief to get Daniel to break.
Yeah.
Bow down when you
Bow
hit.
down. That's right.
That was their law. But you got to say, no,
No, I ain't.
I
doing
would
that.
not have fellowship with you. Okay?
1 Corinthians chapter 10.
They'll see by law and they'll immediately think it's, the law of God.
No, it ain't no
because
law
his
of
law
God.
don't frame mischief.
And that's what we're starting to understand when we're reading Paul's letters. He was not speaking against the law of God.
No.
Listen closely. Paul was not speaking against the law of God.
That's
He
right.
was speaking against the law of man. And these are the two things. That's why it sounds like when you're reading his letters, it sounds like 1 minute he for the law, and then the next minute it sounds like he's against the law. No, he was dealing with two laws. Going hard on the law of man,
That's
saying
right.
get out of that. Them traditions,
That's
commandments. But then, hey, we for God.
That's right.
Keeping these commandments,
That's
these
right.
laws. It's right.
That's right. Because they forget so hard that man has law too.
Two.
They have a law. That's why now they're passing the vaccine law. And you're scrambling to trying to find a way to get from under that
That
law.
law. That's right.
Okay?
That why they don't tell them the stuff they say to God
It's
about
done
His
away
law.
with.
It's done away with. Where's the boldness now?
That's right.
See, what the Lord do is expose that hypocrisy.
That's right. Oh man, yes, so is hard. Right?
So, back to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 22.
21.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, 21.
okay. 20. We did. You sure, Mom, we did that? I don't think we did 21.
You gotta do 21.
Okay.
Okay.
You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of devils.
All right. So he said you cannot drink of the cup of the Lord, Passover, and then the cup of the devils, Easter, Thanksgiving, and all this other stuff. So you can't do Passover and the Christmas party. You're gonna have to choose one. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table. Huh? Every time we opening this, you partaking in not this
Right.
book. But then you want to go over and read Christmas stories on the other side.
Right.
You can't do that. You got to choose one.
He said you can't serve two masters.
Can't serve
Either
two.
hate the one or love the other. Or the one or despise.
Despise the other. Yep.
So you can't do both.
Nope. You got to choose upside. And people find it hard to tell people, well, no, I don't keep Christmas. I'm bold as hell. No, I don't keep that.
Right. Because they don't mind. One
Letting
thing about
you
wicked
know.
folk, they don't mind telling you what they think you feel.
That's right. They stand
and
on
dare
that.
you to say something.
That's right.
So guess what? I'm going to say what? Nah, I ain't finna do none of that.
That's right. You can look as crazy as you want, talk as crazy as you want. No. What you gonna be doing the weekend? Keeping the Sabbath.
Yeah, that's right.
What else you think I'm gonna be doing? Right?
Verse 22. Do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than He?
All right. And so this he says, do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than him? We already know we ain't stronger than him. But you provoke him when you're trying to eat off that other table. The cup, drinking the cup of devils, and then you think you're going to come drink of his. No, you got to choose up one or the other. And so when you do provoke him, when you're trying to eat off of two tables, you can't do that.
Because remember that what they did in the wilderness, they provoked it.
Yes. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy 32 and verse 15.
Okay. Deuteronomy 32, 15, and 16. It reads, But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger.
All right, and that's just like Jeshurun that wax fat. That's us, Israel. The Lord bless us, give us
Yep.
what we need, and open our eyes in this captivity. Give you a little bit, and the first thing you think, I don't need it, Lord. I got a house, I got a car, I got a bank account, I got a good job. Because you've covered with fatness, you no longer lean in those areas. You know, he gave you a little bit. And he said, but then what you do? You forsake God, you know, which made you. He's the one that made you into this beautiful nation, brought you out of Egypt. And what you do, you get a little bit and you lightly esteem the rock of your deliverance, which is Christ. You lightly esteem him, but you uphold the Europeans. But now they want to jab you with that
Sure
shot.
do. See how God do.
And he's what he say? Don't call me, call them idols that you worship, and let them help you.
Well, the Lord don't play.
He don't play. But we esteem everybody
Sure
else,
do.
but lightly esteem Christ.
That's why we can say stuff and gotta keep that law. I don't care what you say. I'm gonna do what's on my mind.
That's what they say too.
The Lord like, okay, bring
Yes.
that fikes here.
That's right. Oh, they want me to get
The Lord know how to get you.
have you doing the earthquake like they used to do in the 80s when them boys used to be breakdancing. They go into the earthquake when they mention that fight. That's how Israel get. Verse 16, and it says what? They provoked him to jealousy. And how is that? With strange gods. He don't want to see no fat red Santa sitting nowhere in your house.
Right, leaving cookies and milk. Ah,
Yeah. That he ain't even gonna eat because he ain't real. With abominations provoke they him to anger. And so they said, don't provoke Lord, because you ain't stronger than him.
right.
Don't make him go in that arsenal.
So doing all that idolatry and murmuring and committing fornication, that's them abominations
That's them abominations.
that come with that idolatry too.
Exactly. That's right, it's hard. But our people love it. It's just so fun. It's so appeasing to the flesh. Boy, you better learn to kill this flesh.
I'm telling you.
Put this flesh to death daily.
That's what Paul said that last shot. I bring it to subjection, lest myself. So he even was aware.
Well, yeah,
I could
of
be
his-
teaching, and next thing you know, I done lost my mind.
Like, Paul, boy, used to be bad. What happened? That's
Nah, I
why
done
he
went off
tells you
rails.
that him that think he stand, let him take heed lest he fall. You know, you have to heed all this stuff that's going on around you, because they're always trying to program you to go against your God. Now, see, but the TV don't know that I serve the God of Israel, that I serve the Most High. No, but they have read this book.
Sure did.
But they know everybody has a TV. And if I could just somehow
Put the
ease
image out
in
there.
yes.
Put it in your mind, plant seeds.
That's right. Plant them seeds in there. That's all he needs. Just a little opening. And he up in there.
And if you're not renewing this mind constantly, that seed gonna grow.
That's right. And the best way to when somebody is take heed, when people giving these lessons and warning you,
I'm telling
that's
you.
a shot. Hey, I listen to that
I'm
stuff.
telling you.
Take it in. Make sure I ain't doing that. Now my eyes, I'm looking around. I'm aware of what's trying to snare or overtake me.
Right.
I don't want no parts of that. I don't want to provoke the Lord to jealousy because I'm not stronger than him.
And that's why we don't need sisters running around here trying to get the preacher to shut up.
Yes.
The
Can't do
preacher
that.
has to call out. See, how can I know what's going on? How can I be aware of the snares, the pitfalls?
Yeah, you can.
Trying to save my soul, trying to save my life. All that sugar, sweet, nice tulip preaching, that stuff got to go. We living in the last days. You
That's
are
right.
in a warfare.
And the devil
And
amped
you
it up
need, you need that drill sergeant. Do you
Yes.
not know when them soldiers be at war, they be wanting to hear their captain voice. That same captain that yell at them, and when they
Yes.
be practicing and stuff, boy, they be in that war, that battle be hot.
That's
they
right.
pray he pick up that.
Yeah, woo,
Because
yes.
they need that. Hang in there, soldier, you got it.
That's
Fight,
right.
get through that pit. Cause why? It's real. I see my
it.
enemy
Yes.
in front of me.
That's right.
The enemy gunning for me.
That's right.
And he there to coach me through it. But sometimes he ain't gonna be there for you.
That's right.
And that's why you always got to
All
be
that
listening,
teaching.
because sometimes that judgment be right around the
Kona.
corner.
That's right.
Because there have been times I've heard things, and I kid you not, let's just say somebody say, oh, be careful when you go to them lights and stuff. Don't, because what they've been doing, they've been running the light even when
Yes,
it's red.
yes.
So when the light turn green, just stay there for a few seconds and then go. I kid you not, that morning or
Yes.
whenever, that somebody fly
Fly
through
through
it. And
it.
all I think about it, I remember somebody
Somebody
told
just
me,
told
they
me.
had just told me, you get to this light.
That's right.
That's why it's so important to listen. Close your mouth, take instruction, heed correction. Correction
Yes.
is not there to destroy you. Paul just told you all of these things were written for us.
Yes.
And these things that are written are preached to us so that we can, okay, let me clean my life up in this area, let me get this right, so I don't fall in this wilderness.
Yep. That's
I'm
right.
trying to make it. I'm trying to get over that finish line.
That's right. But they read it in their head, like Paul was saying. Neither be idolaters.
Right.
No, don't be an idolater.
That's right.
Because Paul was putting
Yeah,
some.
he didn't play.
He was putting some rights on this thing,
telling you.
and that's why. But you think somebody gonna take heed what you whispering,
Yeah.
like you telling sweet nothings in somebody's ear? No, he crying out in these verses. But just because you're reading it with your mind, like he's just neither let us commit fornication. No, this is some serious business.
This is serious. And that's the thing too, our people don't take nothing serious.
Yes.
But why? Because there are ministers, there are teachers and all that, they downplay this stuff.
Yep.
Trying to comfort you so they can get money out you, to get some fame, power, whatever it is they're seeking in Babylon.
That's right.
You need to put yourself somewhere where it's gonna make you better, gonna
Yes.
push you. That's what
right.
I did when I used to shoot hoops, y'all. When I was a basketball player, I want to practice with the best.
Yes.
I want to play with the best balls. I don't want to just play with nobody's.
No, you gonna get better like that.
How will I get better?
That's how Serena and Venus got good, because they didn't just go out and they daddy didn't put them with no little anybody's.
Yeah.
No, they practiced with some men, some hard players. But look at them today, even though they swirling. But look at them.
Champions.
Yes.
And that's
right.
what Paul was saying in that last chapter. We gotta have a champion mindset.
Yes.
I ain't boxing for nothing. No boxer going in the ranges. No, he making sure.
Yes.
She making sure. Pop,
That's
pop,
right.
pop. Cause why? I'm trying to get that title around my waist.
That's right. That's right. And so, but in front of you, there's an opponent. What you gonna do with that opponent?
telling you.
You got to study them and know the tricks
Right.
and the little pitfalls and snares that they got for you.
Right.
So just like you study them, they study you.
Right.
Think they don't study what black women like,
They study all
what
that.
black women don't like? They study all that about us. That's why you wear weaves, wigs, fake nails, all that stuff.
Yep.
Because they studied your behavior.
But keep
But you
paying
haven't
correction.
studied them, though.
That's right. But they
Because
know all
the Lord
about
put it in here for you to understand your enemy.
you. Right.
But
That's
okay,
right.
keep
Keep it up.
Keep it up. Okay. 1 Corinthians 10 and 23.
It reads, all things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not.
All right. And he says, all things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. And so don't think that he's just telling you everything lawful. Fornicate. Now, he just told you don't do that. So we know he's talking about those things that are within the boundaries of the law, such as eating clean. And he says, but it's not expedient. All things are not expedient. So, just for instance, if even though it's lawful for you to eat, it's not good if you know it's to other gods to
Right.
eat that. Because just say somebody invites you, see, you doing it, you eating with people who you always telling, hey, I don't eat Thanksgiving. You know, but then they say, I'm bringing you a Thanksgiving plate. And it's just got rice, clean collard greens, corn, or whatever on there. Nothing against the dietary law. Well, you wouldn't be edifying that person if you eat it, because you're always telling them about the law of God and not partaking of Thanksgiving, and you don't keep all that. You know how you keep the feast of the Lord.
Exactly.
So,
Because they might be like,
I thought you said. That's the first thing they're gonna say. So that's not edifying to that person.
Right.
When you do that. Okay.
verse 24. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth.
All right. And so let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. And so we are supposed to always be looking out for the other person, because we know that the idols aren't real. We know that these little gods, that there is no other God but the God of Israel. But so we look out for another person's well, because it may come a time when this person say, okay, I'm in it now. I want to walk with the Most High. I want to serve the God of Israel like you serve him. And that's when, because you looked out for their well-being, then guess what? Now you can edify them.
That's right.
But this true wealth, what is this true wealth? It's the word of God.
That's right.
It's that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you get to get eternal life. And you should be looking out for that other sister in your life, the what you would say, like when you deny yourself things that are lawful, because you know she's watching.
Yeah, that's right.
In hopes that she will look at your life and want to come into this truth and start walking holy and righteous to gain eternal life. You're looking out for that true wealth of that person.
Verse 25 and 26. Whatsoever is sold in the shambles, that eat, asking no question for conscience sake.
All right, so the shambles, whatsoever sold in the shambles, the meat market, or just say Walmart. It says, so whatsoever sown in Walmart or one of the meat markets, that eat, that's clean. We talking about according to the dietary law, asking no question for conscience sake. So don't go in Walmart or some other store and asking them what supplier they use, and where's that food shipped from, for your conscience sake.
That's
because we don't grow anything.
We
We don't have our own farms.
That's right.
We don't have our own land. So eat according to God's dietary law.
That's right.
Pray over your food
Right.
and let that be it, for conscience sake. Because once you figure out, oh, Lord, they saying it's from this and that, then you ain't going to eat. You ain't going to never be. You're going to starve to death.
Yeah, because tell the truth, you're going to be starving.
Yes, because he
Because
already
all
told
of
you.
the food, everything is just defiled.
Mm-hmm.
So just eat that which is right according to the dietary
That's
law.
it. That's it.
Because you have people nitpicking everything. Got so many nutrition labels
Yes.
in their house.
That's right. For everything. Let me see what that one. Oh, it's just beyond too much. Okay.
Verse 26. For the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof.
All right. So the earth is the Lord. So the food, the water, all things come from the Lord. Okay. So we have established that. So let's go to Psalms 24 and 1.
Psalms 24 and 1.
And that's what get me. They sell water, they sell everything, but it's the Lord who gives it to us all.
That's
it
true.
belongs to Him. But they put Zephyr Hills on it, and they think they the water maker. I ain't never seen Zephyr Hills make it rain.
I sure ain't never seen it either.
Aquafina.
Do they even know how to create that substance? Or
No. They just go collect
That's
it, bottle it up, and
supernatural.
sell it to you.
You know that's supernatural. You ain't created now liquid.
Nuh-uh. Food either. Right?
Psalm 24:1.
Okay.
The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein.
All right. So we know this is what Paul was quoting. Paul in this Old Testament,
I'm telling you, he just keep going by to these scripts.
Yes, because there was nothing else. This is all that they had was the Old Testament. This is what they lived by. And this is what Paul was quoting, which means they were still walking under the law. And the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. Okay. So now we know where Paul got that from. He wasn't just making stuff up on the fly.
Nope, sure would. Okay, so back to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 27 through 33.
Okay.
If any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, and you be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question, for conscience sake.
All right. So if any of them that believe not bid you to a feast and you be disposed to go, you want to go, okay? So believe not. We know this person is an unbeliever, but they invite you to a baby shower or their retirement party, and you say, okay, I'm gonna go. All right.
That's right.
And it says, whatsoever is set before you, eat. He ain't say bacon. Pig in the blankets and all that foolishness.
Right.
We know we talking about according to the dietary
Pig
law.
feet and all that. Alligator. Gator. They like gator tail down here in the good old Florida.
Yeah, fry some gator tail
Oh,
in
gators.
the yes, frog legs and everything else. Nasty heathens. It says, eat, asking no question for conscience sake. So you're going to eat according to the dietary law. Make your plate, sit down, and eat. Don't ask no questions.
Right.
But let's continue to verse 28.
But if any man say unto you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols, eat not for his sake that shoot it, and for conscience sake, for the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof.
All right, but here you go. But it says, but if any man say unto you, now you at the retirement party, the baby shower, and then somebody gonna come to you and they say, hey, this was I know you know, eat according, you know, to your Lord's little thing. You know how they like to say, like they don't know, oblivious to what you do. He said, eat not for his sake that showed it. So, you done made your plate, and then here they go. They tell you right before you get ready to eat it. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you because I know you
Like you had
you
to
keep
say
your
it.
look. You know, your little Sabbath thing, and I know how you is about all that stuff, but we had to pray over to our God and stuff. So, don't eat it. It says, for conscience sake. Why? Because you got to show them that, not that we know that God is anything that they're telling you that they prayed over it too, but you showing them that you stand with the God of Israel.
That's right.
Because eating is, after they tell you that, you're not going to edify them in the end. Because the first thing they do is they're going to say, oh, I thought you said you was holy, you was righteous, and I told you that plate was sacrificed, and you still ate it. I guess so your God ain't going to be nothing. And so that's why he's telling you, for conscience sake, don't eat it.
That's why Paul had to say all things are lawful for me, but it's not edifying.
Yes.
Or expedient. And that would be a case right there.
Yes.
Because believe it or not, people watch us.
Yes, they do.
They hear what you done said. You know, you show them in the word how the Lord got chariots and wheels of fire for those who boil in the swine.
That's right.
Eating the rat and all that.
That's right. The abomination in the mouse.
He got some fire for you coming, and then they see you sit down here, so you ain't gonna get Isaiah 66 either.
That's
so
right.
you don't really
Sorry.
believe what you told me.
That's right.
So you just, I found myself in those kind of instances where I've had to do that. Cause they sit right there.
Yeah, they like, Yep.
I don't touch it either. Like, but y'all sure had to tell me. Y'all finna tear this plate up.
Yes. So you be like, nope, no, thank you.
Appreciate y'all though.
Yep.
All right, verse 29.
Yes.
Conscious, I say, not thine own, but of the other. For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience?
All right. So Paul say, conscious, I say, not my own conscience, because I know there's no other God. That's why at the end of it, he said, for the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. So I know
Right.
where this food and drink and all that come from. But for they conscious, because of what I've already spoke to them about in these idols that they serve. For why is my freedom judged of another man's conscience? So this person know you serve the God of Israel, and after they tell you that they've offered it to their God, don't eat it, because they will say, man, I thought she was holy. You know, and the first thing that they're going to do is go into judgment mode
Yeah.
concerning your God, concerning you and your God. And so Paul say, not for my conscience, but for their conscience. And so that's why you do it. But that, you know, you at liberty,
Yeah.
but they're gonna go into judgment
Sure
mode.
is.
That's why he said your liberty is judged of another. They don't question nothing nobody else do, but the children of the Most High.
That's right.
All eyes on me. Ain't that what they say?
Because it's the real thing. You know that.
Yes.
It's the real deal.
It is.
Verse 30. For if I by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of for that for which I give thanks?
All right. He says, for if I by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of for that for which I give thanks? You know, if I'm partaking or thanking God for my food, you know, why am I evil spoken of? Because they know you live and keep the commandments, and that you follow Christ 100. That's why.
Verse 31. Whether therefore you eat or drink, whatsoever you do, do all to the glory of God.
All right. And so whether you eating, drinking, praying, singing, reading, preaching, teaching, helping others, whatever you do it
To the glory.
Yes. God should always be honored or respected after whatever you have done, eating or drinking. So if that person's like he told you before, if they eating things that told you that plate is clean food, I know you got your little baked chicken and your little yellow rice on there, but we kind of like prayed to another God for it, and I want to let you know before you eat it. Well, so that God would get the glory for that, and I push that away because I want the God of Israel
To get glory.
to get honor and glory from
Rather
that.
than fill my belly up.
Yes, because they'll be like, boy, she don't play by that God that she serves. She's serious when it comes to that. And God gets honor and praise from that. And eventually them seeing your righteous lifestyle, they'll come and
That's
want
right.
to be a part of it. Okay?
Verse 32. Give none offense, neither to the Jews, nor to the Gentiles, nor to the church of God.
All right, so give none offense neither to the Jews, nor the Gentiles, nor to the church of God. So your conduct or your behavior shouldn't cause someone to stumble.
That's right.
It shouldn't. You should always be an example. You know, make sure you're always conscious that people are watching you, especially when you claim you're a servant of the Most High. They watch you on the job. They watch you in your neighborhood. They watch you when you go to the store, when you at the mall, wherever you are. They always watch you. They be like, girl, I saw you the other day. But see, you wasn't doing it. You was, but then they'll tell you, I saw you. And you be like, where you was? In the car next to you. You're like, wow. You ain't
It
say
surprised
nothing.
you when they
And
tell
you be
you.
like, you ain't say nothing. You ain't
Yeah.
blow now. Because why they ain't going to say it, blow the horn to let you know? Because they want to see what you do when no one's around. That's why. That's why Paul said, give none offense. I'm not going to do nothing that's offensive.
And I wanted to say too, Yeah, you got a lot of people that watch you because they want to see you fall, but there are some people that are rooting for you.
Yes.
They want to see if it works, because I want to step out
Yes.
there, but I want to see what it's
That's
like
right.
on you.
That's
See how
right.
you do it, and then that's when I'm going to follow suit. And you
Yes.
know what they going to do after that? They going to, hey, you know, Zahara, let me holler at you.
That's right.
Because I be noticing, you know, but they watch you for a time, watch you.
That's
watch
right.
you and watch you. Because
Yes.
they making up their mind whether or not they want to serve the God of Israel like you serve him.
Yes, that's right.
So not everybody ain't watching you for your downfall.
No,
Some
no.
people really are watching
Yes,
you
before
because
they
wanna
take a step out. Yeah. That's
It's
right.
like, let's just say if it was a weight loss product.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
see
know,
how that work for you.
Somebody watch how that thing work on you.
You steady putting on pounds. I know I
they
don't
like,
want that product.
duck and dodge that. But when they
That's
see
right.
how consistent you are, you know, you got the weight loss product going on, you're working out, you're doing all that, they're seeing that, and guess what? They're going to eventually follow in the same steps that you going.
That's right. Because why? It works for you.
So not everybody watching you
For
ain't
your
watching
downfall.
for your downfall.
That's true.
Some people really are watching
Watching.
because they're amazed. They're like, wow, I want to be like that.
That's right. That's right. That's why Christ
That's why you
said,
can't give
let
up.
your
You
light
can't lay
shine.
down.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed who you be inspiring.
Yeah. They just be
They
sitting back
just
in
don't
the cut.
say anything, but they see you every day. They hear you. You come. So when you do talk, when you are out and about, they see how you behave, your conduct,
That's so true.
and then eventually, I'm gonna holler at you
Yes.
because I'm interested in that. How
That's
you
right.
got like that?
Yes. But they gonna watch you for a while. Yeah. Okay.
Verse 33.
All right.
Even as I please all men in all things, not seeking mine own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved.
All right. So he said, even as I please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit, but the profit of many, that they might be saved. So just like, he's saying, just like I please men in all things, they not offended by your behavior when you eat, when you drink, or whatever it is, when you're working. Believe it or not, a lot of people, your coworkers, they watch your behavior.
Sure do.
And they want to see how you really live. What are you really seeing? That's why they always watching. And then when you look,
That's right.
and but why? It's not for your own profit or your own benefit, but it's for their benefit.
That's right.
That they might be saved. And that's what it's about. And so that's why you're always on point when you're out. Some people say, oh, you think you better than everybody else. No, I don't want to be offensive to others or neither to my God. I want him to be honored and pleased by the lifestyle that I live, the way I dress, the way I carry myself as a righteous woman, the way I talk to men with respect and dignity. I want God to get honor from that. Because it's not about my own benefit, but the benefiting others.
That's right.
That they might be saved. They don't have to run to other nations of women because they say, oh, I know it's some good women because I'm talking to one.
That's right.
They're still virtuous women because I see the way you serve your husband. And other sisters can see this, and it saves them at the end. And that's what it's about.
That it start with you.
Yes. And that goes back to the law of loving your neighbor.
Yeah.
You would do that if you love your neighbor. Why? Because you want the best for them just like you got the best for yourself. So, well, that's all I have, Zahara. You have anything else?
I thought that was excellent. No more need to be added to that.
Well, all right, family. With that said, we will say shalom.
Israel's conversations, couch conversations, couch conversations, conversations.